Hey, Charmist, I'm going to make this video. We're going to start from scratch because the numbers went south and nothing fit. So I don't know why, but we're going to go ahead and start from scratch. So again, these are our bracket terms, and I'm pulling this from this sheet. Bracket A, B, Y, and T. And this is their formulaic formulations, but I got a example here. Let's take a look at this one. So our example, we only got 2 levels of A, but we have 3 levels of B. So basically, think of it this way. We got an A1 with a B1, B2, B3. We got an A2 with a B1, B2, B3. Okay, so, and again, we're going to go ahead and start calculating. So for the bracket A, what this says is we take all the levels of A. So ours would be male and female. No, and regardless of the treatment type, right? So we're going to add them up first and then square them second and divide by the number of levels in the second variable, which is 3, times the individual numbers in each group, and that is 8. So let's just double check on that. But let's go to town, brown, no. So let's do this. So I'm just going to write this up here so it doesn't get in the way. There, A1 and our A2 totals. And I'll center them and make them bolder. So this one, I'm gonna put, you know what? I want you to add these up. Add them up. So the first one is all the males That's the first group, is all the males, right? Boom. Second group is all the females. Right? A1 is males, right? Let's just write that up there, males. And A2 is females. Just to try to keep this straight, which is easy to screw up, I'm here to tell you. So now that cell is going to be all the females added up. So we're going to go down to the 2's, and just their DVs, that's the only thing we're adding up here, right? Boom, that's just the DVs, boom, got that part. So far so good, yay us. Okay, now what do we do with that? We do this. We go back to the sheet. So we added them up. Now we have to square them. So we're going to go to these, this will be squared, right? I'll just type in squared. But I won't put it there. Dang it. Hold on. We'll spell it right. So I'm going to go to equal sign. I want that cell to the second power equals. So there's that one squared, and here's this one squared. And again, I'm just going to make them pretty so we can see them. Oh, yeah, rotten bags. Let's just do that then. All right. All right, everybody get cleaned up here. Okay, so there's our squared. Now I think we need to sum them up. Sum. So I can just go here, equals that one plus that one equals, so there's the sum of the two, and now we're going to divide by B times N. Now remember, B is the number of levels in the other variable, so that's going to be 3. And N is the number in a simple set. I'm sorry, in a single group. So a single group, we got, this is a single group. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 per group. So this number is going to be 3 times 4. I'm sorry, 3 times 8 is 24. So that's going to be our divisor in this one. And so I'm going to go here, boom, and I'm going to go equals. Take that big old sum there and divide it by 24. So that is our A bracket term. You know what? I'm going to take out all these ugly decimals. We don't need the decimals. They're not going to change much of anything. So, for ease of use, we're simply going to put them like that. Okay, so... And that is our A bracket term. Yay. That's our A bracket term. A. And then I'm going to put this. I'm going to copy it. Copy. And that's going to go here. Paste. Paste. That's not what I want. Okay, so let me redo that. Okay, so equals that. Boom. So if I make any changes, right, I can do it instantaneously. I'm going to go ahead and calculate the t value so I can calculate this sum of squares. So a minus t, hopefully it will fit our number here on this guy. Hopefully it'll fit that number. So I'm going to do that real quick to just make sure we didn't totally screw up. So to find the t, that's the one on the bottom here, t squared, let's turn that around a little bit. Getting dizzy. So t, so we basically add everything up. We add up everybody, and then we square it, and we divide it by the number of levels in A, number of levels in B, and times 8 gets our individual groups. So let's go back here, and I'm going to cheat a little bit. So T's the last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be our T. T for 2 and 2 for T. All right, so I'm going to square everybody up. And you know what? I'm going to put it right here. This is going to be crap, I already forgot. Do I add first or do I square first? I add first, square second, right? Add first, square second. So this is going to be the sum. And let's just put that cell there. I'm going to say add them up, and that's all of them. So that's the sum of them. And now I want that number squared. Sorry about all this painting stuff here. I don't know why it's not holding. Stupid thing. And okay, I got to line them up. That's just me here. So there's the sum, and this is the sum squared. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to the magic box at equals. And I'm going to say, you know what? Take that number, shift 6, 2, and square it. Boom. There's my squared number. And then finally, I got to divide it by 2 times 3 times 8. Right? That's number of levels in A, number of levels in B, and a number in a single group. So 2 times 3, yep, that looks right to me. Okay, here we go. So we're going to take equals the sum squares divided by, so 2 times 3 is 6 times 8 is 48. Is that right? That looks right. 48. Boom. So there's that number. And again, let me get the formatting out here. Boom. So that's our T value. Let me move this one a little bit. Yeah, let's mark it with a different color. So I have my A and T. So if I subtract these two, right? A minus t, going back to this guy. Right, our sum of squares should be a minus t. A minus t, a minus t, a minus t. Something doesn't look right here. So a minus t equals, all right, equals a minus t. All right, that is our bracket term, but that's not our degrees of freedom or anything. So hold on. No place values. Don't need them out to 10 million. Thank you very much. Okay, so a minus t, that's that number. Degrees of freedom is, we got two groups in gender, minus one is one. So our mean squares is going to be the same as our sum of squares. All right, degrees of freedom is one. And so we divide our sum of squares by our degrees of freedom, and that is our mean squares. And this is the between group fella, right? So all that stuff is basically the same. And then, let's see what else we should calculate. So we got that. So we need the degrees of freedom from, oh no, we got that. So that's our mean squares A. We need our mean squares of A, S, B. Hold on a second. I'm going to go ahead and calculate the rest of the bracket terms. Okay, so let's just do B next. So B looks like this. Let's look at the B. There's B. So B means we add up the B's. So this one we have 3 B's. All right, bracket B. We got 3 bracket B's, right? So we got psychotherapy, CBT, and brief. We add them up individually regardless of gender first. So let's do that. So, right, regardless, so we're just taking the ones that got the ones. So that's going to be all of these guys, right? And I'm going to sum all the way up to there. Plus, and I need to sum them all the one guys again. Oh, this is not going well here. Let's see what that looks like. Enter. Boom. Didn't get an error. You know what? I'm going to double check this. Please hold. All right, that is confirmed, right? These are all the ones and all the twos. I'm simply going to go, you know what? I'm a little bit nervous, so I'm just going to pick a couple of them. I'm going to pick a cell and say, you know what? Just give me these twos. Enter. I'm going to pick another cell and go, you know what? Give me these twos. Enter. Boom. So I got my twos here. And then the sum of these twos is, I can already tell that in my head here. That. So there is 1023. That's this guy. And let's delete these guys. Boom. And then number 3, same thing. I'm going to just pick a cell, go here, sum up the 3s here. And pick next door and sum up the 3s down here. That should give us our brief group sum. You know, once I add them up, all right? Add them up. We're going to add them up. Just these two. So again, that looks like 1055. Oops, get in there, you. 1055 is firm. That's 1055. So, okay, those are our briefs now. What do we do with them? Well, we delete these things that we don't really want to keep, and we go back to the formula sheet. So, we added up each one. Now we're going to square them all and then add them up. All right, we're going to square each one of these. So here's the sums. This line will be the squares. So I want equal sign. I want that cell. Shift 6, 2, enter. There's the number squared. There's all those numbers squared. And then we're going to sum up those. And nope, I want these summed, enter, boom. And I'm going to divide by whatever this thing says. So number of A is 2 for us. N is 8. So 2 times 8 is 16. Right? Divide by, right, AN, which is 2 times 8 equals 16. So equals that divided by 16. Boom. That is our B squared. B squared. B squared. I'm sorry, B bracket. B bracket. B bracket. So our B is that number. Well, let's just put the number in. Good. Alrighty. On to bracket AB squared. This is our interaction term. So we got to break them down into the 6 subgroups, right? Male psycho, male CBT, male brief, female, etc., etc. So we got to do those. We got to add them up first, square them second, divide by, our number is going to be 8. So let's do this. I'm just going to put A1, B1, A2, no, I'm sorry, A1, B2, A1, B3. So those are our males, and now we're doing the females. A2, B1, A2, B2, and A2, B3. Good. Now we got to sum them up, right? So A1, B1. That's this group right there. Right? So we're only talking about the DBs. So here we go, Joe. We're going to take the sum of just this group. Enter. We're going to take the sum of, where'd you go? Sum of just this group. Enter. That one. We're going to go take the sum of just this group. Halfway done. Enter. We're going to take the sum of just this group, right? These are the females. Enter. And females again. So sum of this one. Enter. Last but not least, sum of last one. Zhupa. Enter. And let me get them all pretty for you. All right, so what do we do with these? I think we square them. Right, we square them all, then add them up. Square them all. So here's the squared. Right, these are the sums. These are the squared. Equals that cell. Shift 6, 2, that squares it. And then we put them all the way across. And those are all squared. Man, that's a big bunch of numbers there. Now we add them up. Let me make sure here. Right, we're going to add them all up. And whatever that sum is, we're going to divide by 8. Because our size is 8. So here's the total. And summy, summy. Summy, summy. Good, 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 good. And then we're going to divide by n, which in our sample is 8. Alright, let's move you guys over a little bit. So we're going to take that number. We're going to divide it by 8. Enter. Boom. So that looks like our AB squared. I'm sorry, AB bracket. I keep calling it AB squared. Oh my goodness gracious. This is our bracket AB. Alright. So let's make this a different color. Let's make it green. Sure. So our AB is this value. Control C. Control paste special. Good. Bracket Y. Why? Why not? Okay, Y squared. So we square them all up individually first and then add them up. And we don't divide by anything. We actually divide by 1, but it's all individuals. It's considered a single group, so we're not going to really divide by anything. So we're going to square them first. Double check. Square them first, add them up second. Right? So square them first. So we do this. We go to the function bar. We hit equals. I want that cell shift 6 2 squared. And then I highlight the whole chimichanga. Chimichanga. Get that little square in there. And all the way downtown, brown. All right, and now I want a sum of that one. And we just highlight them. I don't trust anything with this thing. Boom. So that is our Y squared. Copy. Over here. Y squared, and again we're just going to paste the values. Alright, last but not least is the T squared. T. So T is we add them all up first and then we square them and we divide by everybody, right? So, alright, add them all up first. So there's the sum, bum. Sum. And this is the squared sum, squared. Equals, take the number, shift 6 2, enter. There is the squared sum, and now we got to divide it by A times B times N. So we're going to get that right in there, get in there, boom. So we're going to divide it by A, B, N, and in our problem it's 2 times 3 times, and our N was 8 in a single group, which equals 6 times 8 is 48, as I recall. Okie dokie schmokey. Alright, now we got to divide that number by 48, right? 2 levels, 3 levels, 8 people in a single group. So click the cell, equals that number divided by 48. That's a 4 and a 8 equals, boom. Alright, that's our T score. T, good to go. So now, source of variance table. Got all my bracket terms. Let's go back and check to see how to calculate the sum of squares. So bracket A minus bracket T. Remember, if you get a negative number, you did something wrong, which is easy to do. So equals bracket A minus bracket T. Enter. Boom. Oh, thank God. No negative number. Second sum of squares is bracket B. Bracket B minus bracket T. Thank God, not another non-significant or negative number. Okay, it's been a long day. Oh my God. So AB minus A minus B plus T. Ay, ay, ay. So equals AB minus A minus B and then plus T. Right? Plus T, not minus T, plus T. Right? Let's see what that looks like. Boom. Oh, yeah, it's not negative. And then this one is Y minus AB. Right? Y minus AB. Y Delilah. Y minus AB. Boom. We are cooking with gas. And then total is is Y minus T. Y minus T. Y minus T. Enter. Boom. Oh my God, I think we got it right. There are no negative numbers. Okay, now degrees of freedom. So degrees of freedom are number of levels minus 1, number of levels minus 1, and the rest of this stuff. We'll just do them one at a time. So there are 2 levels of gender. 2 minus 1 is 1. There are 3 types of therapy. Minus 1 is 2. And I think that's A minus 1 times B minus 1. Let's double check. Right, A minus 1 times B minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. And then for the next one, we got, what is that? Get in there, you. Boom. This is our error term, right? So it's AB times N minus 1. So ours is 2 times 3 is 6. Times 1, 8 minus 1 is 7. So 6 times 7 is 42. And then the total sample, or the T, is all 3. So 2 times 3 is 6 times 8 is 48. Minus 1 is 47. So that's 47. Okay, here comes the fun spot. So the mean square is simply this divided by that. Right? So again, we're going back by this thing, right? We got mean squares is simply the sum of squares divided by the degrees of freedom. So now we do that. Now we go equals mean squares divided by the one next to it, degrees of freedom, equals, and we can go all the way down here. Good job. Very importante. This is your error term. This is the one you're going to be dividing everybody by. I will make him yellow. So again, this is going to be your mean squares within group. This is the one you're dividing everybody by. So let's take a look at these bad boys here. So the first one is the mean square A, that's this number, divided by the mean squares of the within group, and that's this number, right? Bam, that's the mean squares, MS, S slice, B, AB. Now I noticed I got a S, A cross B, that's the same thing. Okay, that was a little typo on my part. But this number divided by that number, got it. So our calculated is going to be equals, it's going to be this number divided by that number. Bam. That is your F ratio. We don't need that many place values. Let's just go to 3. So this one is, I'm pretty sure it's this number divided by that number again. Equals, and again, we don't need that many place values. I'm just going to double check myself here. Right. So this one, the interaction term is this number, this is the mean squares of this one, again, divided by the same term over there. It's going to be that divided by that equals, oh my, I think we did it. I think we did it. I think we did it. So, get in there, you. Hold on a second. So these are our calculated F scores. So this is significant. Normally it's the F value has to be somewhere around 3, but it depends on number of groups, number of sample size. But this is bigger than 3. This is way bigger than 3. And this is less than 3. So I'm going to say there's a significant difference in gender. In other words, there's a main effective gender. Significant difference for the therapy groups in the GAFs, in the DVs. That's what the difference is. And this one, there is no interaction. But let's do our ANOVA Jova. ANOVA time. We go to factorial ANOVA time. We go to analyze. We go to gender linear model. We go to univariato height. Oh, look at that. They're already there. So the GAF is the DV, gender, and therapy. And I think everything's already clicked. It certainly is. We check all the assumptions. But we're just going to look at the source of variance box and make sure we got the same numbers as they did. So here they are. Now, by hand, we don't do the corrected model by hand. I'm sorry to say. We don't do the corrected model by hand. So we look at the gender. So the gender that SPSS got, 4653. 4653. 4653. Winner, chicken dinner. So with therapy, let's take a look at it here. Boom, therapy. 46427. 46427. Wow, look at that. 46427. Interaction. 0.397. 0.397. Oh my God, it is really good to be good. Now we should look up the significance values from the books. So let me put you on hold for a second, and I'll pull up a table. So here's a F table that I stole a long time ago, but this is how you write it up in APA formatting, right? Tells you that the F tells you ran an ANOVA. That first number is the degrees of freedom between groups. Second one is degrees of freedom within groups. There's your F ratio, and there's your p-value, and that's your cutoff. But we're going to just look for, so our alpha is 0.05. Make sure you're in the right one. Okay, 0.05. So this one is degrees of freedom between groups. So our degrees of freedom between groups was, for gender, our degrees of freedom between was 1, and our within group was 42. So we go to row 1, column 42. Row 1, where did you go? Yeah, rotten bag. So row 1, column 1, and then we go down to 42. And so you're supposed to find whatever's close, right? So I'm going to pick 40. That's close to 42. I think you're supposed to go to the next one. It's higher. So we're going to go to 60. So again, our within group degrees of freedom is 42, which is over that. But so if you use 0.408, I don't think anybody's going to beat you. In fact, I'm going to just use. No, I'm not. The rule of thumb is if it goes higher than that, you should go to the next one. And we're only talking about 8/100, so that's not a biggie. So that is your critical F from the book for your A variable. Right? 4.00. And since your calculated variable, your calculated F ratio is greater than the critical from the book, you get to reject the null. You say, null, you're a loser. You're a liar. Get out of here. So that means there is a significant difference for A. Now, B is 242. 242. Come on, 242. So 2 is going to be the second column. Make sure you're in 0.05. And then we're going to go down to 42, which ain't there. So we're going to use 60. So it's 0.315. 3.15. And again, your calculated F is much bigger than your critical, so you reject the null. And this one we don't even have to look up, but we're going to look it up anyway. 242, that's going to have the same critical F. So, in a nutshell, there is a main effect. In other words, reject the null for the A. So in other words, there is a significant difference in GAF scores between the genders. Reject the null for the B. In other words, there is a significant difference between the GAF scores between the therapy groups. And for the B, there is no significant interaction because our calculated F was not greater than the critical F. Okay, I hope this helps everybody. MGZ, out.